All right, we're wrapping up just the last couple of days of our trip. We are chilling at Hotel Henann Resort, Alona Beach. That is Panglao Island on Bohol. We are digging this resort. We're glad we chose this as our chill spot to kind of end our 3 weeks in the Philippines. The kids are worn out from island hopping and just general adventure. So I want to give you some pros and cons just about the resort itself and just this little general area of Alona Beach, Panglao Island. Some pros, baby cakes.
Well, the location is great if you're looking for a place that's in town, quick trip to the airport, easy to just leave the resort, hit restaurants, shops. A lot of the resorts we've seen have been more remote, so this one is great if you still want to be in town with easy access to everything.
Yeah, speaking of restaurants, I mean, the food here has been good. It's a little more pricey as you would expect from a big resort. But not, you know, if you're eating at the pool bar, which is right here. Pizza, burgers, some other choices. Like I had a great red curry last night that wasn't exorbitant. But the menu price can go up to extremely expensive. The drinks, though some have been tasty, I wouldn't recommend the margarita. And I don't know if maybe the alcohol's a little watered down.
The cocktails have not been strong.
Yeah, they don't hit strong. So that's not our purpose, getting turned. You know, the beer is your best bet if you want to feel a little more fun. But, you know, like the tequila sunrise has been tasty, and a nice bebida by the beachside. It's pretty good.
Comfort. The rooms are very comfortable, spacious. The best shower we've had in the Philippines.
Oh, by far. Great water pressure, great shower head.
You know, the plumbing smell that you tend to get in other countries, it's lower. It's better here.
Better here. Yeah, it still exists. It's the one place that I've showered without wearing flip-flops. That says a lot if I'm doing that.
Clean.
It feels pretty clean.
Clean and modern and very comfortable.
Don't think I'm gonna get athlete's foot or whatever.
We have a family room because we're here with 2 of our kids. They have their own bedroom with their own TV, and the pools.
Oh, the pools. Again, it's been a great chill spot for the end of the trip because there are 4 massive pool areas here. The water is crystal clear, seems to be treated very well, even with tons of people in and out of them. We were here for Easter weekend, which is a massive like local tourism spot, and Korean. There were a lot of Koreans here for the Easter weekend. But the pools seem well treated, well kept, and the service, man, there are hundreds of people working around the clock, keeping this place clean, mopping at all hours, like the common areas. It is also one place where I feel like the rooms get mopped, which traveling in Europe, and though this is our first time in Asia, it's just not always a common practice. They sweep, but they don't always mop. So you'll definitely end up with grocery store feet. But here, that has not been the case.
No.
Yeah, very clean, and the service, everyone is, every staff member you walk by says good afternoon, good evening, ma'am, all of that. So they're really working hard on the service aspect. Tons of security and staff keeping an eye on everything.
Like I said, we're traveling with kids, so our kids have been very happy here, as have we, because this resort is right in front of the beach. So we're here right now chilling on the beach. The kids are back splashing in a pool. Everyone's happy and where they want to be and comfortable.
Yeah, everything feels very safe. Just can't say enough about the pool area. Like the kids are they're just happy to be in the pool and not dealing with waves or sand. Sometimes they want that. But at the end of the trip, again, everybody's been kind of tired. Oh, the convenience and comfort of they accept credit card here. So you can put a deposit on your room for each day. It was a minimum $2,000 per day deposit. So we had 4 days. We put $8,000 down, but you're going to use that in consumables, so they call it consumption, and that just means you're paying a deposit, and that will go towards whatever food or drink you use. So that's been great here because the kids know our room number, and they just, if they want to order a drink or a burger, and we're not with them, they can just say X room number, etc.
Every pool has a bar and kind of a la carte restaurant service, so it's a small menu, but no matter what time of day, you can get a snack ordered to you poolside, and that's quite nice.
Yeah. Oh, and to know about that, each of the bars may have a different menu. So the pool bar that's closest to the beach has a much more expanded menu, which is serving all day. Probably wait 20 to 25 minutes for food to come out if you live in Spain like us and don't eat till 3 p.m. But there are a couple of cafes for a giant breakfast buffet. Actually, the breakfast is included, and it's way too much. They have everything.
Tons of food.
There was spaghetti.
You will get charged if you leave like a plate full of food, so only take what you want. You can always go back for more, but they do charge for food waste.
Yeah.
So.
The dinner buffet is like 900 peso per person on the weeknights, that's fairly expensive. You can get a burger at the beach bar for $6.50, but you're gonna add drinks. So it just depends on how much you want to eat, how hungry you are. With giant breakfasts and all of that, we have not been fully hungry for buffet dinner.
Right. Last night I ordered the corn chowder, and it was less than 200 pesos for the bowl, and that was all I needed for dinner. So not in a buffet kind of mood, but that is an option if you're very hungry at the end of a long day, taking excursions or whatever.
So lots of comfort and convenience at Henann Resort, Alona Beach. Let me tell you there are three Henann resorts all in the same complex, but they are distinct, and some are further than the beach than others. Okay, so we did some more checking after shooting this video. The Henann Tawala is the one that's set much further back from the beach. It's closer to town. Tawala is gonna be much cheaper, but fewer pools, and you're 10 minutes walk from the beach. It still has great facilities, but not nearly as extensive as what Henann Resort Alona has. So the Premier Coast Resort is basically brand new. It was on soft opening while we were there. Is right on the beach, has its own swimming pools, and has a lot more rooms with sea views because it's right there on the beach, including family rooms with sea views. So it comes at more of a premium. The main thing you should know about the other two resorts, even though they're all right there together, is when you book at one or the other, you do not have access to the pools at those other resorts from the three. So if you want all the big pools where the kids can really get up to a lot of fun, you can have your choice of all the 4 different pools and the big resort. That is the Henann Alona Beach. So just make sure you're looking at that as you're booking. Other cons, the beach.
The view.
The view.
It's lovely. Of course, we're in the Philippines. Every view is beautiful, but this does not have the drama like El Nido, like Coron, like Port Barton, like
where you have the sea stacks.
Where you have the smaller islands just right out in front of you that are beautiful, and this just it's lovely blue water and white sand and palm trees, but besides that, there's not much to see.
Yeah, we've also found we're here in April and the waters are not calm except for at night. Today is the first day we've been here where it might be fun to get out and try to see a couple of fish in the water, but they're not hard corals, just right off the coast like you would find on any of the beaches you can get to quickly in El Nido. So yeah, I mean, just rough water. I was out in it the other day and I was like, I wouldn't want the kids, even though one of them, 15 and is a fine swimmer. There wasn't really a rip tide, but there was a lot of current. And it was just really turbid. Turbid is a good word. Turbid. Movida, they say in Spanish, but not a lot to see for snorkeling. All up and down the strip of Alona Beach. It is lovely. It's a lot better to look at than Port Aransas, Corpus Christi, Texas.
Right.
That kind of beach. Great to lay out and tan or red if you're me. But compared to the convenience of like in El Nido, you could hop on a trike and in 10 or 15 minutes be at Vanilla Beach, Leo Beach, Las Cabanas Beach for amazing sunset. Oh, also take note, Alona Beach is on the eastern side of the island, so you have sunsets kind of down to, you're not going to see the sunset, but there were some pretty skies. Yeah, so it's still a fantastic beach, but comparing to some of the other places you could go. Again, so the counterbalance to that, though, is the pools are phenomenal. Other cons?
Yeah, they're good. That's it.
Is that it? That's pretty good if there's not a ton of cons. There was one other con, wasn't there?
I don't know. Money, location.
All right. We're trying to think of other cons, but we're striking out. So I think that's pretty good. If you're going to be in Bohol, Panglao Island is probably the best place to stay, and Alona Beach always turns up as the best, kind of area. There are a couple other beaches you could stay on that will be a little less touristy, but the convenience of town being just, walking distance for other food and a little bit of shopping, that's very nice. So that's it. We've been real happy with Henann Resort, Alona Beach.